Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I want to thank everybody who showed up to the watch party last week to support the debut of the show. I really, really appreciate it. We had a great time. This week, we are talking about the new words that have been introduced to us by the coronavirus and are now part of our everyday vocabulary words, including covidiot and covidiocy, which we will get into a little later. Some of you may know that I am a logophile. That simply means that I love words. My undergraduate degree is in journalism and creative writing. I've written 2 books about words, Leighann Lord's Dict jokes, alternative definitions for words you've probably never heard of, but will definitely never forget. In the book, I have my copy here. In the book, I actually give you a word. It's part of speech. And what its real meaning, of course, and what I think the word sounds like. And I'm flipping through so I can find one of my favorites right here. Forte is one of my favorites. It's a noun, and it actually means a strong point, something in which a person excels. But I think forte sounds like the average age of a midlife crisis. Yeah, that's the book. That's what I do in the book, everybody. And volumes 1 and 2, by the way, are available on Amazon. So now please understand when I say new vocabulary, I mostly mean already existing words that are now in our everyday speech. And depending on how you count words, they're about 1 million, about 1 million words. Again, depending on how you count it. And the average adult uses between 20 and 30,000 words. And coronavirus has just really, really broadened the words that we're using. I mean, the coronavirus itself and its various nicknames. You know, if you want the familiar, there's the Rona. If you want to be a little bit more formal, there's Miss Rona. And one of my favorites, new favorites, I should say, is Coronacoaster. That was introduced to me by a friend and fellow comedian, Latice Mitchell. She posted this on her Instagram. And it means the ups and downs of a pandemic. One day you're loving your bubble, doing workouts, baking banana bread, and going for long walks. And the next, you're crying, drinking gin for breakfast, and missing people you don't even like. Y'all. Can we say that last part again? Missing people you don't even like. What happened to us, y'all? What happened? Well, the pandemic is what happened to us. And just so that we're on the same page, the definition of pandemic, of course, pertaining to disease, is prevalent throughout an entire country, continent, or the whole world. Epidemic over a large area. This, of course, means that saying global pandemic is redundant. You don't need the global part. Pandemic is handling that all on its own. The pandemic, of course, has given rise to what I like to call pandemic pounds, but what everyone else refers to as COVID-15. And Urban Dictionary defines COVID-15 as the 15 pounds of weight gain caused by nervously binge eating your COVID-19 food stockpile. So if you're keeping score at home, there are several ways that this virus can be injurious to and impact our health. There is COVID-19, COVID-15, and COVID-45. Which brings me to our next word, asymptomatic. Asymptomatic means presenting no symptoms or evidence of illness or abnormality. Now, if you want to use this in a sentence, it's very easy. Just because you are asymptomatic does not give you the right to be an asshole. Wear a mask. Now, there are just so many words and phrases that have, again, come into our everyday speech. Social distancing is one of those. And I have to say, while I like the action, I'm not a big fan of the name. I think it would be more accurate to call it physical distancing, because what we need now more than ever is more social interaction. But there's just so many words to keep up with. There's a lot of medical technology that that we now know because of the coronavirus and the pandemic. We now know what PPE means: personal protective equipment, for doctors, nurses, people working in the medical field. Now, PPE is not to be confused with OCD, OPP, or BBD. Now you know. Major shout out to Gen X there. We've learned a lot about medications, most notably hydrochloroquine. It is an immunosuppressive drug. It can treat and prevent malaria. It can also treat lupus and arthritis. You know what it can't treat? Coronavirus. And for the record, Hydrox cookies have also seen an increase in sales among the intellectually vulnerable, and is probably the leading cause of COVID-15 for some people. Epidemiology, one of my new favorite words. Again, according to the dictionary, epidemiology is the study, assessment, and analysis of public health concerns in a given population, the tracking of patterns and effects of diseases, environmental toxins, natural disasters, etc. So, an epidemiologist is probably not your barely made it out of high school cousin. It's not your president. And it is certainly not that random dude on Facebook who is also probably not your friend. One of the saddest words to enter everyday speech on social media is covidiot. That is someone who ignores the warnings regarding public health or safety. Now, what you may not know is that a large geographic gathering of covidiots creates a covidiocy, which sounds like confederacy, but that's just a coincidence. But to cut down on the confusion, a synonym for covidiocy is hotspot or epicenter. We don't always use words correctly. One of my friends, Leonard Trammell, noted this and posted this on Facebook. He said, "I keep seeing the word spiking used to describe the number of COVID-19 cases. That is a misuse of the word. Spiking refers to a sharp point. A rapid increase followed by a rapid decrease is a spike. Cases are not spiking. They are jumping, surging, rocketing." I'm the only one that cares about this, aren't I? Actually, Leonard, you're not. Linguists, logophiles, teachers, smarty pants people, we are all concerned about this. I will say that the spike that still warms my heart is this one. Yes, you will know him as Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, although true fans know him as Blondie Bear. And now is the perfect time to demonstrate my rabbit fandom. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Now, sometimes people deliberately misuse words to make a point. Chris Cuomo does this on his show on CNN. He does it with the word Americans. Have you seen this? Like he does this cute thing. And by cute, I mean completely irritating, where in a segment, he'll be highlighting the positive things that people are doing, and he calls them Americans. Right. See what he did there? Okay. And then he'll highlight the miscreants of the day using the word Americans. I'm waiting for the Americans segment where he talks about this infestation of Karens we seem to be having. Now, Urban Dictionary defines Karen as the stereotypical name associated with rude, obnoxious, and insufferable middle-aged women. It's important to remember that this behavior is not new to the pandemic. According to Ancestry.com, Karens are most likely descended from Barbecue Becky, and you'll recall that she rose to fame by calling the police on Black people while they were just trying to have a barbecue. Mind your business. Mind your business. Karen, put that phone down and mind your business. On that note, I'd also like to give a shout out to all the Native peoples who were chilling on their land, living their lives, minding their business, and then had, I don't know, some unexpected company. So this lighthearted history moment is for you.
On this day in 1534, the first known exchange occurs between Europeans and natives of the Gulf of St. Lawrence in New Brunswick. One of the natives says, "I have a bad feeling about this." But since he's the tribe's glass half empty guy, he is ignored.
You know, much like a song that gets played too much, words can wear out their welcome, right? You just hear them too much. Like some of my pet peeves are unpack, pivot, pet peeve. But I did a little informal survey, and I found that the most overused and annoying word so far of 2020 is unprecedented. It means never done or known before. What's really annoying for some of us is that people also tend to misspell the word. And so it reads as unprecedented, which I contend is not a misspelling, but an accurate perception of our national situation. Used in a sentence, the United States has been unprecedented since 2016. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list. Words and phrases are ever changing because these are, as you know, unparalleled times. That said, my favorite word of 2020 so far, my favorite word of the year so far, entanglement. That is the word Jada Pinkett Smith used during her Facebook show Red Table Talk to explain her extramarital relationship with rapper August Alsina while she was separated from her husband, Will Smith. Entanglement. Now you know. As I wrap up this week's episode, I want to leave you with another one of my favorite lighthearted history moments. This one seems particularly relevant and on point. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you keep coming back and watching. And most of all, I really hope that you keep hanging in there.
On this day in 1439, kissing is banned in England to stop the spread of the Black Death. This inadvertently increases the popularity of kissing among those who think the Black Death and the recommended social distancing measures to fight it are a hoax.
Perfect.